In this video, I want to show you more than 15 tidbits and other changes for the iPhone 15 that Apple didn't talk about at their September event. Starting off with first, Apple's new $29 USB-C to Lightning adapter that you can buy right now on Apple.com. There's actually no wait on this. It should be available in Apple stores very soon as well, but if you have some extra cables laying around that you still want to make use of, or you have some very specific Lightning accessories at home, you could spend $29 on this adapter. But of course, most people aren't going to need this dongle, as inside the box of the iPhone 15 is a standard USB-C cable that Apple is including. But contrary to the leaks that we saw beforehand, this is just a stripped down, plain, bare bones USB-C cable. Not only is it not color matched to the phone, it is just white across the board regardless of which iPhone you buy, and it's not any longer than the cord has been. It's 1 meter, it's white plastic, that is all you get in the box, even if you're spending over $1,000 on the Pro models. Which I really shouldn't be surprised by this, but I really got my hopes up for the colorful cables because these just looked incredible. That being said, because Apple switched to USB-C, they've also unlocked a plethora of new features, including the ability we've learned to charge your AirPods or even your Apple Watch with a USB-C cable. I thought actually for a second we might have finally gotten reverse wireless charging, a rumor that we've heard for the iPhone for so long, and the feature that technically exists with the MagSafe Duo battery pack. But that is not the case for the iPhone 15. You can charge your Apple Watch, you just have to plug the USB-C cable into the new USB-C port and you can charge it that way, but reverse wireless charging is still not on the iPhone properly. This MagSafe battery pack, by the way, it's been discontinued with no replacement. On the MagSafe battery, we've had Lightning because it came out alongside the iPhone 12, but on Apple's website, it's gone, it has been discontinued, and that's not the only Lightning accessory that's gone, it's also the MagSafe Duo. This product has been such a good companion for traveling, but again, because it has the Lightning port, I guess Apple doesn't see a use for it anymore, and rather than just putting a USB-C port on here, or even a crazier idea, releasing a better product that's new, Apple just shut the door on this product, and it's also no longer sold. Super weird to me that MagSafe is more popular than ever, and Apple has discontinued their two most popular MagSafe accessories with a lot of nothing in exchange. So if anybody has recommendations to maybe fix this, let me know. The thing is, Apple's discontinuations didn't just stop with accessories. The iPhone mini, specifically the iPhone 13 mini, that is no longer sold by Apple and it has been completely discontinued from the site. The mini size iPhone first debuted in 2020 alongside the iPhone 12 lineup, and since then we've just seen data time and time again that regardless of what Apple did or tried with this product, it just wouldn't sell. So small apologies to the 2.5 of you out there that actually bought the iPhone mini. I know that there is a devoted group of you that just wanted to see it come back, especially with the iPhone 15 and USB-C, but it's just not happening. Nobody bought the phone. I've never seen the point to it, and if I've never seen the point, like, why did it exist in the first place?
I'm being sarcastic, obviously.
But yeah, if it's not selling, Apple's unfortunately not going to keep it around. And with Apple switching up so much from a product standpoint on the iPhone 15, new titanium, USB-C, major camera upgrades, I thought for sure the SIM tray would be going away globally and that eSIM, as it is default and the only available model in the United States, would expand everywhere. But luckily that is not the case. If you buy an iPhone 15 of any kind outside of the United States, it will still have the physical SIM tray, which is super good to hear. And I gotta be honest, now that I know that 2 years in a row, Apple's just kind of nerfed the iPhone 14 and 15 with eSIM, and then they just put a piece of plastic there in lieu of it with no extra benefit without changing it globally, I'm a little salty because I just would like to pop a SIM in sometimes, especially I'm literally going on a trip abroad and I have to figure out how to switch eSIMs and call my carrier, and it is so much more complicated. I'm genuinely envious of everybody outside of the US that gets to keep the SIM tray. I am not jealous of your prices though, because the prices outside of the US are as rough as they have ever been. Except in the UK, it looks like Apple might have dropped the prices there, so good for you guys. Next up, we have some new camera details, specifically for the iPhone 15 Pro Max with the updated 5x telephoto lens. I was so curious because we know the hardware is 5x optically, what the digital enhancement would be. And as it turns out, you can now zoom to 25x digitally, and that's it. It's actually just the same as the software works now, where the 3x telephoto can go to 15 times. But aside from bare bones support, it doesn't look like Apple has done anything else in the software. If you were looking or hoping for an Android type super zoom, that is not the point of this according to Apple. It's simply made for really stunning 5x telephoto portraits and other landscape shots and objects that stop at 5x. Nothing more than that. Next up, the iPhone 15 straight up has better Wi-Fi, significantly better Wi-Fi that Apple just didn't talk about at all. It's got Wi-Fi 6E confirmed, which aims to decongest the other parts of the spectrum so that all of your devices start to work better. It's the latest Wi-Fi standard that Apple has been slowly rolling out to all of their products, but usually it takes them a while to add it to the iPhone, 2 or 3 years beyond when other products get it, but they just threw it straight in the iPhone 15, which is incredible. And the second big network upgrade for the iPhone 15 is that Thread's networking is built in. There's a dedicated receiver in here now. Thread is a newer smart home networking system that aims to make sure your home accessories like lights and other things actually connect and work responsively together because they're on this dedicated standard. Apple says that they added Thread to iPhone 15 for, quote, future opportunities for home app integration. So I'm reading this as Apple's doing a lot overall to get all their devices on Thread, and it's gonna all work better. Apple TV has this, other Macs will get it in the future, and using the home app is gonna be such a better experience in a year or two. Now, if you do spend the extra money over $1,000 to get an iPhone 15 Pro or the pricier iPhone 15 Pro Max, there is an added benefit on the inside that we have learned about. For the first time, these iPhones have 8 gigabytes of RAM, which is up 2 gigabytes from what we had on the iPhone 14 series. Now, the standard 15s, the 15 and 15 Plus, they are still at 6 gigabytes of RAM. Apple, of course, never talks about RAM, but it's yet another reason that does make the iPhone 15 Pro series more compelling than ever. Now, iPhone 15 battery life, that's something that Apple didn't really talk about. Actually, if you watch the keynote, they just have a slide that says it features the same all-day battery life as iPhone 14, which as somebody who has my job, I immediately heard for code as it's not any better, or maybe it's worse and we're trying to cover it up. So I started to look into things. And as it turns out, every single iPhone 15 model has the same battery life as the iPhone 14 series 1-to-1. There is literally no change in any of the video, streamed video, cellular, audio playback numbers. They are identical across generations. And while that makes sense to me for the 15 and the 15 Plus because of the A16 chip inside from last year, the new A17 Pro chip in the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max is a significant upgrade. It's based on an entirely new 3nm architecture, which is literally the most efficient chip Apple has ever developed just because of the standard. So how would the battery also stay the same? Perhaps it's because Apple ultimately ended up going with some smaller batteries in these because they are about 10% lighter, but that could also very much be attributed to the new titanium. We'll have to wait and see until people actually get these and start using them to see what the battery is, but I didn't have good battery on the 14 Pro, and hearing that it's the same, I don't like. That's scary, and that could potentially be an Achilles heel situation for the entire iPhone 15 lineup. There is one new really cool battery feature on the iPhone 15s though, and that's the ability to limit how much you charge your phone to. According to 9to5Mac, they found code that suggests this feature is on the way. So for the first time, if you only want to charge your iPhone to say 70 or 80% every night because you don't use it that much in a way to expand the overall battery life and not go through so many cycles, you can do that now. This is a feature that electric cars like Tesla have had forever. For example, on my car, you only charge to 90%, you don't charge to 100% because on a battery, the more you charge to 100, the faster it degrades over time. So you charge to 90 and it extends the lifespan. And having the control to do that on your iPhone would be amazing. Just give us the option to do that. If you're not gonna make the batteries bigger, which it sounds like you might not have, at least give us that option, and Apple is doing that, which is really sick. And let's hope that they add this retrospectively to the iPhone 14 series, just like Apple has done with the new satellite features on the iPhone 15 lineup. This is another one that Apple didn't mention at all, but the new roadside assistance feature, that is now available on all iPhone 14s. You can do that when iOS 17 launches. I think that's awesome, by the way, that you just get these new satellite features every year, and it sounds like recursively Apple's going to just add the new satellite stuff as a stack over time, and the iPhone 14 next year will get new satellite features on the 16. Which is really sick. And guys, that's all for this video. I hope you learned something new. I learned a ton watching this. My takeaway is that number one, the battery situation is weird. Number two, there's Wi-Fi 6E. And number three, there's a $30 dongle. Let me know what you guys learned down below, what your favorite part is. Let me know if you're getting the iPhone 15. I've been Sam. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.